Hello engineers, welcome back to Civil Nirman. Today we are diving into another crucial aspect of structural engineering, welding symbols. Now if you are a designer or draftsman working in the field of steel structures, understanding this symbol is not just important, it's downright necessary. So why is it so crucial? So let's break it down in few minutes. Now the first and foremost, welding symbols serve as a universal language in the world of structural engineering. Imagine you are working on a massive steel structure project, multiple teams are involved, each responsible for different aspects of the project. Now without a standardized way of communicating how the various components need to be welded, chaos ensures. Multiple teams are involved, each responsible for different aspects of the project. Now without a standardized way of communicating how the various components need to be welded, chaos ensues. Mismatched expectations, wasted time and increased cost can result from misinterpretations of the welding requirements. That's where welding symbols came in. They provide clear and concise instructions on how each weld should be executed. Now see, clarity is the key in any engineering project, and welding symbols contribute significantly to achieving that clarity. They specify the type of weld, its size and location, leaving no room for ambiguity. As a designer or draftsman, you play a crucial role in ensuring that these symbols accurately represents the welding requirements of the structure you are working on. Secondly, welding symbols are a vital part of ensuring structural integrity. In the world of steel structures, safety is non-negotiable. A well-executed weld can mean the difference between a structurally sound building and a potential disaster waiting to happen. As a designer or draftsman, your role is to convey these critical welding details accurately to the fabricators and welders on the ground. So, a clear understanding of welding symbols helps prevent errors in welding that could compromise the structural integrity of the entire project. It's a responsibility that comes with the job, and your ability to communicate welding requirements effectively ensures the safety of the structure and everyone involved in the construction process. So let's discuss welding symbols. So basically, in the standard methods, we have two ways to standardize these welding symbols. The first one is the American Welding Society, that is represented as AWS, and another one is International Organization for Standardization, that is ISO. Here in our topic, we are representing the welding symbols based on the American Welding Society. So let's just understand. Now for your understanding, I have downloaded this particular basic chart from the website of American Welding Society. You can download this from the website too. Now let's understand the symbol and its part. So if we switch to the presentation, see, welding symbols are the set of information conveyed by the design department to the welding engineer and the welding operator. Now it contains all the necessary information like welding position, dimensions, geometry of the weld, details of the groove or fillet weld, welding process, etc. Now see, a basic weld symbol consists of three parts, namely that's the arrow line, reference line and tail. So let's understand each of this component, how they represents the welding. The first one is the arrow line. Arrow line indicates the position of the joint. The arrow points to one side of the joint. This is called the arrow side, and the side other than the arrow side is called other side. Now just for your understanding, understand over here. This particular picture represents the arrow side and the other side for these two different categories of the element that will be going to weld. Okay, so this one is the arrow side and this one is the other side. Next we have the parameter called reference line. So what is that? So the reference line is the horizontal line that serves as the anchor for all the welding symbols and elements. The reference line is a simple line that carries vital information such as the joint design, the weld pattern the weld size, etc. Now this info is handy when each side comes with the different joint details. Also, it helps to diminish the usage of too many welding symbols in one joint. Simply put, consider a reference line as a blank notebook line that designers use to illustrate their thoughts on joint design. Required weld process, size of the weld, angle of bevel, size weld profile, depth of penetration, number of welds, spacing, and many more. Instead of words, they will use a series of welding symbol elements to help you understand what they are expecting from your weld. Now, besides the information, the reference line carries information about the size of the weld. If the engineering drawings call for multi-process weld operation, you'll see multi-reference lines that may contain different data for each weld pass. In the multi-pass symbol, the line closest to the arrow line is considered as first operation or first pass, while each above calls for the following operation, like I have shown over here for your example. And the last one is tail. And now the last one. The tail is the last part of the welding symbol, which is drawn at the end of the reference line opposite the arrow. The tail is used to provide welders with the additional information for which there is no provision elsewhere. For example, a welding engineer can use the tail to provide supplementary information about the required welding process, the reference document, the electrode, or the examination process. Even though the tail is the structural part of the welding symbol, it is reserved for supplementary information, so it is often omitted from the drawing. Now, if the required weld is straightforward, the engineer can omit the tail so it doesn't cause confusion on the already complex welding symbol. Next, we have orientation of the weld. Now, when we talk about the reference line, we note that it can also carry information about the side of the weld. Now, the information above or below the reference line can represent the location or the side of the joint on which the weld is carried out. Understanding the difference between the two sides is important, because even if you create sounds and successful welds, you might have been doing them on the wrong side of the joint. If the information is written below the reference line or on the arrow side of this weld symbol, the weld is carried out on this side of the joint at which the arrow points. Now, if the information is written above the reference line, the weld is carried out on the opposite side of the joint, not on the side where the arrow is pointing. Engineering drawings sometimes call for welds on both the sides of the weld metal piece, so that you will see information written on both sides of the reference line. In a specific situation, engineers can request that you weld all around the piece. In that case, they will provide the information on the arrow side of the reference line and use the weld all around. Supplementary symbol. If the weld side is not important, the element will be placed on the top of the reference line. So you can see all these examples over here for your understanding. Then we have numbers. Now see, number play a crucial role in the weld symbols, as they can highlight various information about the size or length of the weld, number of welds, angle of bevel opening, size of the root, spacing, and much more. So the role of the number will depend on the specific location in the weld symbol. So to closely understand them, let's take a look in the chart. So here all the basic informations are provided. Okay, and see, the number placed nearest to the tail of the weld symbol S, okay, which represents the size of the weld, depth of bevel, or strength for certain welds. These dimensions are very important because they are directly responsible for the joint's ability to withstand the needed load. Next to it, or between the size of the weld, the number E is used to designate the actual depth of penetration in groove welds. Now see, if the drawing doesn't require welding an entire length of the joint, engineers use numbers between the arrow and the main weld symbol. So closer to the arrow, the number P represents the pitch or spacing between the welds. that means center to center, if welder use multiple welded across one joint, and the number L represents the length of the weld. When using groove welds with the root opening, engineers can use numbers to represent the size of the root or the angle of the root. So the number closer to the groove weld symbol R represents the size of the root or depth of the metal filling for plug and slot welds. Below or above groove size, depending upon the side of the weld, the number A denotes a groove angle. Additionally, a number N on the arrow side, this one. So a number N on the arrow side of the reference line can be used to specify the number of spot, seam, projection or slot welds. So I hope this basic information will give you a highlight and you will be able to understand all these different parameters. So I recommend you to go through all the basic symbols. Here I am not able to give you full explanation about each of the component, but I have provided you the basic information that you need to understand. Okay, now let's take a look about the basic difference part. Now you can check out all these basic symbols that are provided over here. See, these are the primary symbols which are divided into two groups. Okay, the first one is the basic welding symbols and another one are the supplementary symbols. So you can check out all these parameters with respect to the arrow mark. You have the supplementary symbol icons as well. And see, basic welding symbols are located in the center of the reference line, above, below or in the center of it, and they carry information about the joint configuration or specific processes. Keep in mind that this wouldn't represent the required welding process, but the weld geometry required to make sound and solid weld. Now let's talk about the basic difference between AWS and ISO system for the reference line part. See, in the ISO system, a weld on the arrow side is indicated by placing the weld symbol above the solid reference line. Okay, and a weld on the other side is shown below a dashed line as shown in this particular figure. Now if we talk about the AWS system, the weld symbol for a weld is placed below the reference line for a weld, whereas in the AWS system the weld symbol for a weld is placed below the reference line and for a weld on the other side is shown above the line as shown over here. So basically dash line is not used in the AWS system. See, in the ISO system, the symbols on the solid line always refer to the arrow side of the joint, and the symbols on the dash line indicate a weld on the other side. The dash line can be drawn either above or below the solid line, but as per standard practice, the dash line is placed below the solid reference line. Now to bring more clarity about the arrow side and the other side in a fillet joint, you can check out this over here. If the weld is made on both the sides, as in a double fillet weld or double groove, the dash line can be omitted since the weld symbol is placed on both the sides of the reference line or lines. So you can check out this diagram. So I hope you are aware with this the basic difference as well. Now let's check out some of the different categories of the elementary symbols. So you can observe over here for the different categories of the joint like single V-butt, double V-butt, square butt, single bevel butt. The indicated symbols which are used for the weldings are shown over here. So in the summary, understanding welding symbol is essential for designers and draftsmen in the steel structure field because they established a standard language for communication, eliminate ambiguity, and ensures the structural integrity and safety of the project. So the next time you are poring over those blueprints, pay close attention to the welding symbols. They are not just lines and arrows, they are the keys to successful and safe steel structures. So that's all for today on our channel. Now if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Remember, don't just learn software, learn concepts. Thank you.